I'm a professor at Indian Institute of Technology. And I'm a visiting professor at University of Arizona Center for Consciousness Studies. And I'm a co-director for the Laboratory for Consciousness in California Institute of Human Science. I studied 15 years in India, doing all kinds of spiritual practice, from morning till night. And on the 10th year, I reached immense awakening. And that was 24 years ago. And 2 years ago, I met Dr. Stuart Hammer. And some miracle happened. And we started living together. We started to travel all over the world. And from morning to night, I have been doing the research and study with him since 2 years. So I'm a main member of Work or Theory group. So mostly I spend the time with Dr. Stewart and Dr. Anilban. Last year we were together in India and we were together in San Diego and spent more than 1 month. Yeah, this is a picture of me and Dr. Stewart traveling all over the world. And he came to Japan twice. We went to Brazil. We went to India twice. And before I met Dr. Stuart Hammer, I was a spiritual teacher, teaching hundreds of people. And today I'm gonna explain the detail of a roadmap of awakening enlightenment from the beginning till the very end of the spiritual practice. And after my talk, I'm gonna transmit my awakening to all the people in the group. 2 years ago, I did my transmission in my talk. Susan Blackmore said, it was just 5 minutes. She told me she had the deepest experience in her life. And many scientists, professors, gave me an email of their intense experience. This was in Barcelona last year. And I could transmit my awakening in 5 kinds of ways. One is through eye gazing, which I'm gonna display after my talk. And second is through the meditation. And third is through touching. And 4 is through the voice. And 5 is through intention. And we are doing scientific study with Dr. Stuart Hammer on many of these. This is in Tokyo University. We did a 10 experiment of my transmission of awakening. And I was 10 out of 10 times, I was dramatically able to synchronize my brain wave, which is only gamma wave, to the person in front of me. And people experience very high state in a few minutes. Yeah, this is when I'm transmitting. My brain wave gonna be only gamma. And I'm very good at eye gazing and transmission through eye gazing. Dr. Stuart Hammer told me that my eye is emitting the photons. And the photon goes into the people's eye, into the retina. And inside the retinal film, it is actually a microtubule. There, the latest scientific study of our team says there's a place where we communicate the quantum communications inside the retina. So last 2 minutes after my talk, I'm gonna do transmission through my eye. And I went to Stanford University. And I went to the laboratory of Dr. Rajesh Khanna and checked my photons. This is when I'm not transmitting, 362. When I was transmitting, it increased to 730. And Anirban, my colleague, he made a DDG machine, high frequency EEG machine, which brain number one is an artificial brain that he manufactured and sold to Microsoft for $10 million. Brain two is my brain. I'm not touching the artificial brain, but because of my ability to synchronize my brain wave to the people who are in front of me, I was able to completely synchronize my brain wave to the artificial brain, which is about 2 meters away from me. Frequency of meditation among adults in California is now 41% of people practice at least once meditation in a week. But the mental health problem in the world is in a very terrible condition. In EU, total cost of mental health problem is estimated 600 billion euros in 2019. In USA, total cost of mental health problem estimated $326 billion. And it got almost double after COVID. 1 out of 4 people in USA are taking antidepressants. 1 out of 7 people in Japan are taking antidepressants. Mental health problem is the most urgent issue that we have to solve. We have everything in developed countries except mental happiness. So my proposal is clarifying spiritual paths with scientific studies, and from the very beginning till the end of the spiritual path, proposing shortest and easiest path to deep awakening and enlightenment. First, I'm going to explain about 11 levels of awakening. First step is releasing all the mental problem. That is going through level 1 to 2. Second step is transforming inner pain and suffering into joy and bliss. That is level 4. Third step is to reaching deep awakening and enlightenment. That is level 6. End of the spiritual path is reaching total unconditional love and complete relaxation. That is level 11. And there you have to release all the tension in the body. So this is my message. Map of awakened consciousness. And I found out there are 4 different types of awakening and enlightenment. And I'm a good friend of Jeffrey Morgan, and we were talking together yesterday also. I met him 5 years ago in Japan. My friend invited him to Japan, and we became very close friends, and we had a lot of discussions. And his location is corresponding to these awakening states. I was lucky enough to reach 4 kinds of awakening states, each one of them, separate. Awakening of pure consciousness. All of the 4 awakening is some variation of pure consciousness. Awakening of pure consciousness. Most of the tradition, if they say about awakening or enlightenment, this is the one that they're talking about. When I reached this state, I met the Zen monk who were traveling, who got awakened through the very famous awakened Zen master in Japan called Harada Roshi. And he told me the essence of Zen is concentrating on the third eye and being attentive, being aware 24 hours a day. And he told me, if I continue this awareness for 3 months, you will get awakened. From the moment that I heard, I kept my awareness on my third eye. From the moment I woke up till the moment I go to sleep. And after I continued for 3 months. And after 3 months, the shift happened. That was my first experience of transitioning into the awakening of pure consciousness. You will have a center so that you don't get identified with your thoughts and emotion. You will have more distance to those of them. Before the awakening, you will easily get identified and you're going to give energy to them, so the problem gets worse. But if you're centered, you won't get involved into those thoughts and negative emotions, and you feel detached. And number 2, awakening of the heart. My teacher told me to concentrate on the heart chakra, and when the heart chakra opens up 40%, you're going to have a transition to this awakening. It's going to bring to you compassion, bliss, warmth, and givingness. Number 4, when I met Jeffrey Martin for the first time 5 years ago, within few minutes, I detected that Jeffrey Martin has attained the awakening of pure consciousness, heart, and emptiness. And awakening of emptiness is very, very rare. Very few people in this planet have reached this state. But I saw deep inside Jeffrey Martin's eye, awakening of the emptiness. And within a few minutes, I told my friend, oh, Jeffrey has reached deep awakening. Awakening of emptiness. In Zen traditions, and Nisargadatta Maharaj has talked a lot about this state. You reach the state beyond the consciousness, beyond where the thought emerges. So there will be no thought. If you hear emptiness, nothingness, this state. Most of the people are confusing awareness and nothingness. It's completely different. Nothingness, emptiness is going beyond the place where the consciousness happens. So there will be completely no thought. And in my spiritual practice, I was receiving the transmission of awakening thousands of times. But when I was receiving these 3 awakenings, the effect lasted only 2-3 days. You feel high, but after 2-3 days, I went back to the normal state. When I reached the divine state, first I met the teacher who reached divine state. Ken Wilber called it Superman. 3 oral window talks about his books. He called the supramental state or Superman. It is completely different from those 3 states. It is complete transcendence. It's like explosion of a clear light is happening all the time and putting a reset button. Because when I reach this state, I completely lost my identity. So I had to go to see the mirror and confirm that I'm inside this body. That much intense, completely loss of identity happens. And this is my original research of map of ego. And length of breathing. It's a natural breathing during meditation. First level, 2 to 5 seconds. When I I went to India when I was 22 years old, and I spent there 15 years. Usually you go start working when you're 22 years old, but I was so suffocated. My breathing was 2 seconds a breath. One breath, inhale and exhale. I call it a one breath. And I worked together with many hospitals in Japan. And mental hospital, they check all the patients' breaths. Everybody's breath was less than 5 seconds. And I worked together with a pain clinic. All the patients' breathing were less than 5 seconds. So if we could shift those people from level 1 to 2, extend their breathings, they didn't have to go to the mental clinic or pain clinic. So when I went to India when I was 22, I was number 1. Those people cannot even meditate. If you tell depressed patient meditate, they feel they're going to be aware of their suffering. So I couldn't meditate for 1 year when I went to India. So I had to do a lot of intense breathing and laughing yogas and healings. And it took me 1 year to prepare myself to be able to sit down and do the meditation. And number 2, you can start to meditate. So I reached number 2, second year of my stay in India. Number 3 is 10 to 15 seconds. You're going to feel firm in meditation. And number 4, 15 to 20 seconds. Bliss going to start happening during meditation. And your breathing, when your breathing becomes 20 to 25 seconds, you're going to be overwhelmed by bliss during meditation. So this was my 10th year in India. I reached number 5. I was practicing meditation with thousands of people in India. And after the meditation finishes, I usually could not move till somebody comes to clean the floor with the water. And after number 6 is a dimension of Indian saints or awakening or enlightenment. When your breathing becomes 25 to 30 seconds, you're going to enter this eternal bliss, and it's going to continue for 24 hours. And after 6, what I noticed, I went through number 1 to now I'm number 10. It took me 33 years to reach number 10. After number 6, extraordinary ability start to come up. Because I spent with a lot of many Indian saints who were deeply enlightened. And all of them had extraordinary ability that no human being didn't have. And I also started to develop those abilities when I reached number 6. When I reached number 6, it was my 15th year, and I went back to Japan. I started my business with $2,000 in my pocket, and $2,000 became $100,000 after 6 months. Then my company became one of the biggest gemstone and crystal hotel company in just 1 year. Then after I started my business, I came to know about my extraordinary ability to predict the future with almost 100% accuracy and to be able to read people's mind. And number 7. And I studied Vedic astrology from the Mr. Ken Rao, and in Vedic astrology, the final aim is to transcend your karma. If you get enlightened, in Vedic astrology it says, you can completely transcend your karmas. And on number 11, you will be able to transcend your karmas. this upper state, it has little to do with the destiny, is my own experience. Because of the cleansing of the tension in the spine. Number 10, I give a lot of workshop to the medical doctors in Japan. I ask them to touch my spine. Because my spine doesn't have any tension or blocks at all. I have only one place in my spine. That's why I'm number 10. Number 11, you're not going to have any tension. That's why you could have the breathing for more than 50 seconds of breath. So I want to explain there are two things very important in spiritual practice. One is meditation, silent sitting, and concentration. And one is releasing the belt from your lungs, each one of them, so that your breathing could be much deeper and deeper and deeper. And what I recommend to shift from the number 1 to 2 to 3, one is laughing yoga, 2 is breathing exercise involving hyperventilation, like Wim Hof breathing, or Soma breath, or Sudarshan Kriya breath breathing techniques. And 3 is emotional release. If you practice these every day, you're going to start shifting from the 1, 2, 3, and 4. Silent sitting doesn't increase the levels, 11 levels. And I found the condition for the eternal bliss to happen, because many of my friends, and including myself, desperately wanted eternal bliss to happen. And one is reaching any of the 4 awakening. Second condition is your heart chakra has to be open. And third is most difficult. One breath is longer than 15 seconds in daily life. Because 20 years ago, I entered the eternal bliss. But sometimes my breathing became longer than 15 seconds. Sometimes it became shorter than the 15 seconds. Then my bliss disappeared and I was really disappointed. So I came to know that 15 seconds is a condition for the eternal bliss to happen. And I'm going to talk about the divine grace, because it is very important on the spiritual path. Because from end of level 1, a lot of divine grace is going to come down to you. And up to the level 9, more than few thousands of times, you're going to receive a divine grace, either from the received directly from the deeply awakened spiritual teacher. It is sometimes called divine intervention. Grace gives you lots of ecstatic experience, and visions, and directions, encouragement, and sometimes information and knowledges. If you go very deep into the pure consciousness, you could have a conversation with the universe. And my conversation with the universe up to now, what they told me about the future was 100% correct. So this is the professor of the medical university checking my spine. And she was so surprised about my flexibility of my spine, and she thinks most of the patient who comes to her pain clinic could be saved with incorporating my finding. This was 5 years ago. We invited Jeffrey Martin to Japan. is when I met Jeffrey Martin in his conference, Transtech conference in 2019. And I went to, last year I went to UCS, the Arnold Devon's laboratory. So I have 5 more minutes. So I'm gonna do a transmission of awakening in 2 kinds of ways. First 4 minutes, we're gonna do meditation together. Please close your eyes. I'm gonna be walking around the hall, transmitting. Okay, please open your eyes. Now please look at my eye. I'm gonna be transmitting from my eye. So Thursday, 25th, I'm gonna do a 1 hour workshop of transmission of awakening from 7:15 a.m. to 8:15. And Friday, 26th, from 5 to 7 p.m. I'm gonna be talking about neural correlates of consciousness and high frequency brainwave. Our team, I think our team have found the neural correlate of consciousness in a megahertz oscillation of the brainwave. And I'm going to talk about that. And I'm going to be demoing the megahertz brainwave with my machine in the demo corner. And everybody can come and check their brainwave on the megahertz oscillations. And they're going to be a party at my presidential suite room number 4274, from 7 p.m. onwards every day. There will be free wine, free beer, free drinks. And then Friday, 10 p.m., I'm going to do a DJ on the low end of consciousness party. Thank you very much for